But I realized one thing, that if we don't respect ourselves, nobody else is also not going to do that for us. So first is when we respect and love ourselves, that is what gives us more power, more motivation to pull us out of situations that are difficult. And I've seen that when I deal with women, women do not understand their self-worth themselves.
Hello and welcome to the Come Alive podcast. I'm your host Meher Chandani. I'm a mother with a story, a business leader with a vision, and an author whose work focuses on transforming lives and relationships through a better understanding of self-love. So I'm loving these episodes with my special guests. I'm so fortunate to have this hour-long conversation with them and bring the best to you as well. I hope you're enjoying these episodes. And today I have with me another strong, powerful woman. She started her journey in India with civil and criminal litigation, and now she's spearheading multinational legal practice. She is recognized as the Anti-Money Laundering Lawyer of the Year by ACQ5 in year 2014. She is recognized and awarded as the leading advisor for the year 2014 by Acquisition International. She was recognized as an Anti-Money Laundering Lawyer of the Year by Game Changers 2021 Global Awards. For her exceptional work in succession and estate planning, human rights and diversity and inclusion, and her various pro bono works, she was recognized by ACQ5 again for Global Awards in 2021. In the same year, she was chosen as one of the Global 100 Lawyers, featured in the annual Heusner Book 2021 among 100 plus top influential personalities. Additionally, she was recently chosen among 100 mothers who are successfully managing careers and are doing exceptional work for society at large by the Mothers United movement for their first edition of 100 Self-Portraits photo book. Please join hands to welcome Karteekka Tyagi. Thank you, Karteekka, for being with me on this show today and honoring us with your presence. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you.
Thank you so much, Meher. Thanks a lot for having me here. And I'm actually equally excited to have this conversation with you.
So let's get started.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your journey. How was it to start and embark in law with all the various stories I've heard of being a lawyer in India? Tell us how you felt. What got you to law?
Okay, that's actually not a surprise, because I was born into a family where almost everyone is a lawyer. So this was probably the only profession that I could have chosen. It was not my first choice to begin with, but then of course, since our childhood, we had been looking at our dad, my father, his brother, my cousins, everyone in the family, looking at their work, how they're dealing with the practice, clients coming to our house. And, so we saw all those AIR books, if you have seen in movies when they show the court seats. So those books and journals were always in our house in one room. So we were so much into this profession that probably this just came naturally to us. And now in the family, of course, my father's a lawyer and my sister as well. My younger sister, she's also a lawyer, and all of us work together. We share work, we share our knowledge as well. Sometimes when I feel that, yes, I need some assistance from them in some matter, I do go back to them and I do look for support from them. So yes, it has been an interesting journey. I studied in India, and then very soon into my legal profession, when I was a very, very young lawyer, I moved here to Dubai.
And what got you to Dubai?
Okay, that was another interesting one. Was I never wanted to leave India. So it was never on my books, never planned for me. But my husband always wanted to probably venture out. He's a banker, and he got an opportunity in Dubai. We were just married about a year when he decided to move to UAE. And my boss at that point, who actually was very, very instrumental in shaping my career, and actually I learned a lot from him. He advised me and as well as my father that, I mean, you're a very young lawyer, so you can either start and build your career here, or you can jump and build your career in a new country. Now, the only question was because UAE and India are very different in their legal systems.
Correct.
So India is a very, very common law based country, because of course we were ruled by the British and all the laws follow the British structure, and UAE is a civil law country. So I had no idea. I was just 1.5-year-old lawyer, very young professional. When I moved here, I took the plunge, of course. When I moved here, I realized that the IFC was something that was more appealing to me because of their common law structure again.
Yes.
I started working on the corporate laws. I started learning from scratch. And I remember a very interesting example from those days. The IFC itself was not very old and it was evolving. This is year 2006. So their corporate law was literally lifted from UK companies law. And I used to call the assistant registrar some 20 times in a day whenever I would be stuck and I would not find anything. And I would call her and ask her, can you please help me with this because I can't find it? And she said, yeah, just look at the UK companies law and you would find it. So I found it so interesting to read through and, learn everything from scratch. And now, of course, after so many years, I think I've worked in international corporate law, coming into UAE for so long. Now everything comes naturally to me. And yes, I also then, diversified into local practice, which has changed my perspective a lot, because now I know how things work here and how they work in India. But yes, it has actually been a very, very interesting journey so far.
So when you say local law, that would be Sharia law.
Yes. So Sharia as in, yes, absolutely. So the Islamic principles that they follow in their civil code or their commercial code. So I am very, very much involved in the local legal structure as well. So I deal as part of my practice with a lot of family law issues, a lot of succession matters, a lot of corporate matters locally. When I talk about locally, when I say that, that means that dealing with corporate issues that deal with local corporate commercial matters, recoveries, franchise, distribution, rental disputes. So yes, in terms of local laws, I'm dealing with a plethora of subjects. And that is in a complete contrast to my international corporate law practice, where I'm dealing with JVs and M&As and international investments on the other hand. So, but yes, I enjoy doing both. And it kind of, if you get bored here, then you have the other side to fall back on.
But you seem to be doing a lot. Like it's so, like usually people specialize in something. But I know you enjoy a lot of all these things.
Yes.
And you keep growing and learning yourself.
Yes.
So how has that journey been? Like what gets you to learn new things, to do new things, to venture out and, experience those different aspects of law? Tell us a little bit about yourself, about who you are and how do you do this?
So actually, personally speaking, I like to learn new things and I like change in my life. So I'm not someone who would keep on doing one thing, day in, day out, from morning till evening. I'm not one of those people. I really look for challenges when I'm working and I look for new avenues. So that is my nature, my character. And probably because of that, my hands are into so many diverse, areas when it comes to legal practice. Usually, as you rightly said, people would specialize or super specialize in one subject or two subjects at max. But I like to challenge myself and learn new things. So when I remember when I was working briefly with my father when I was studying, he is primarily a criminal practitioner, but he also, of course, deals with family matters. And I found that very interesting. Why? Maybe because it's a very subject that is very close to my heart, because then you're dealing with a lot of women who are in distress. So when I moved here, in the beginning, of course, I never had any family law matters, to deal with. But then slowly and gradually, I realized a lot of women here need that support. And I put myself into it. So much so that now, the situation is such that my telephone number is probably making rounds on some certain Facebook groups in UAE where people just keep referring my number and email, and I get sometimes SOS calls from women in distress. Sometimes they want succession help, or sometimes they want child custody help, or they just want domestic violence assistance or something. So I mean, for me, to learn a new aspect of law is something that comes naturally, and I enjoy doing that. So I started as a corporate commercial lawyer, but then of course I diversified into newer avenues, and I'm still doing it. So I do learn. Like recently I jumped into Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain. It was a very new area for me, but I enjoyed. I had to watch some 50 YouTube videos to learn that. But it was an
So
interesting.
you're a learner as well. You
I
love
am,
to learn.
100%.
I mean, more than
100%.
challenges, I think it's more about your zest for learning that
Yes.
gets you to doing new
Yes.
things and
Yes.
venturing.
100%.
That's beautiful. And tell us a little bit about your pro bono work, since you mentioned that there are these
Yes.
women who keep calling you, and I
Yes.
know you're so passionate about giving back to society and giving back to women,
Yes.
especially. So tell us a little bit about that.
So my pro bono work also started by accident, because for me, I mean, if someone needs my help, I would never shy away from that. And if I know that that person is someone who cannot afford to pay the legal fee, I would go out of my way to help that person. And this started, of course, with some women, some laborers, sometimes some, junior level staff and employees of some organizations who needed help. They would get my contact detail from somewhere and they would call me. And I would be always up to help them. I would always answer their questions, never say no to them. And that probably started a chain. Now, in whole, all of this, I know my partners, they don't like to deal with such issues. So it's all on me. So family matter is completely on me, family law in my firm. They don't like to take those stressful calls. They don't like to talk to clients, because sometimes, most of the times clients take you as their counselor rather than your lawyer. In these pro bono issues, what happens is when women come to me, they are those weak, fragile, they don't know anything.
State of mind,
Absolutely.
because of the situation in their life.
Yes, because of course they have faced so many things, in the past. But when they leave, at the end of it, they are a completely different person. That is what is my reward in that case. When I see those women, like to give you an example of another woman who was dealing, for her, we were doing her succession case. Her very young husband passed away due to COVID, some 35-year-old gentleman. Now, this woman had no idea about anything, but over these months, she has learned so many new things, and when now she talks to me, it's a complete different person, who's on the other line, which is what makes me feel, yes, I think I was able to do something, make some difference to her life.
Amazing. That's big contribution.
Yes. So I mean, life. That is what, that is my reward. If you're not getting some cases, I don't get money at all. Like, like another DV case where DV is domestic violence. So where this woman she just did not want to go to police station. And I told her, listen, if you got my number from someone, if you got my contact details from someone, that means there was a reason. Either you go file your complaint, or I'm not helping you. An hour later, she called me from the police station. She said, okay, I have filed and registered my complaint. Now tell me the next step. She then went to for a medical test. Everything was done, filed. Her husband was called to the police station and he signed a bond right then and there. And now when I talk to her, just one thank you is, what makes me realize that, yes, I mean, that was enough. I didn't need anything else from her. She's a completely new woman now, new person, new personality.
Beautiful. That's so amazing to impact life with your knowledge and, just your ability and your intent to help.
I hope I'm able to do that, but yes, I'm trying.
So you mentioned you like change. You don't mind all this, and hence you uprooted yourself from India, came to Dubai, then now from Dubai to Geneva. So what's your take on change? I know change is the only constant thing, but people are afraid of change also.
Many times, actually, and I've heard that. When I first made my move to Dubai, as I told you, I was very young. It wasn't very difficult for me, but then still, you are leaving your whole family. You have spent half your life already in a country, and now you're going to another country where you don't know anyone. You're starting life completely from scratch. I was fine with it. I started my career from scratch. I started my life from scratch. Everything well settled. Spent 15 years here, set up the work on autopilot, and then came another change, which was actually a much bigger change for me. But, and at this time, my husband moved in 2016, and it took me 3.5 years to really decide whether I want to take that plunge as well or not. But 3.5 years down the line, I knew in my mind, and we would go every summer holiday, every winter holiday to Switzerland. I knew if I don't do it now, I would never be able to do it. And let's do it. What max, can happen?
Yeah, what is the worst that can happen?
Exactly. Worst would be I would fail. I would not be able to set up my practice. Fine, it's okay. I can always come back, right?
Yeah.
Because I still have the work here, which is anyway, sustainable. I did that, and the timing was such that we went right in the middle of COVID lockdown. December 2019, I moved, and March everything closed down. For about good 4 months, life had actually come to a standstill. My son was not enjoying 6 initial months. He didn't like Switzerland at all because, of course, it was everything was new for him, new friends, new culture, new language. But 6 months later, and now, when I see both of us, actually all of us, we love that place. We have adapted ourselves to it completely. It's a U-turn from the life we had here and now what we have there. But I still love it. I enjoy living there. We do get our breaks when we both travel to Dubai for work. But if we had not done it, if I had not done it at that point, I would never be able to see the good side of it. So that's what I think.
So I
it's the motivation.
Exactly. So I love it. But that's such a learning for everybody else as well, right? And for me, of course, when you say this, that if you don't do something, you'll never be able to see the brighter side of that part of your life or that change.
Yes.
Because that change will also have a brighter side to it.
Yes. So for me, change, I need new things on a daily basis. Really, honestly, in my office, it's like, it's sometimes, it's a joke. Okay, yeah, she would need something new. Even when I'm like, I get dressed for work and I said, okay, yeah, I think I can do something differently today because this should not be.
Also keeps your, I think your energy is high because you're okay and open to change, and because change is the only constant thing, like we said.
And exactly what you said, that, unless and until we try new things, newer avenues, how would we know what's on the other side?
Yeah.
So if we are not open to changes in our lives, how are we going to get newer things, newer goals, newer whatever avenues? So I think, yes, change is important. I know a lot of people say, I would never be able to leave my comfort. I would never be able to leave this country. Unless and until you take that step, you don't know what's waiting for you on the other side.
Love it. And that's such a perfect way to end this topic as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And what's your favorite part about being a lawyer?
Okay.
Like, what is that you enjoy and you love and you wake up to?
I think new challenges, I would say. When, there are matters where you are looking for things that can turn the table around completely.
To solve the case, like they say in these big stories.
Yes, absolutely. So that is what I really like about our work. Like yesterday only in a meeting, a client asked me, do you think we have a case? Do you think we can take them on? I said, listen, every case, every problem has two perspectives. So if I were their lawyer, the other side, I would say yes. Because I would have found something to support their case, their cause, right? But because I'm your lawyer, and since you're asking me this, I'm telling you and I'm guaranteeing you, yes, I can find something that you can take them on with. So every problem or every matter would have two faces.
And
right?
it's like
two
life,
aspects.
right?
Absolutely.
Because my perception and your perception is never the same.
Yes.
My husband's perception and my perception will never be the same. It's
Yes.
all about perceptions in
Yes.
life and how you take on things and how you can convince,
Correct.
I guess, in this case, the judge or
and connected to the law.
And connected to the law, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
Connected
see
to the
that
law.
perception in the light of law. And
Yes.
so beautiful. It's amazing. And I think that's where the expertise of the lawyer comes in, right?
Yes, and that comes from experience.
Yes.
The more you work, the more you put yourself into it, the more you learn.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess that's life as well. The more experience we have, the better we get at it.
Absolutely. 100%.
Amazing. So you love challenges and you love to find the solutions from that perspective.
Yes.
That's what drives you to come to work every day and
Yes.
be who you're meant to be.
Yes.
How beautiful is that? So tell us a little bit about your personal life. I know you're a mother.
Yes.
You have a successful family unit.
Yes.
And for me, this podcast is about love, life, and learnings. I mean, it's about the journey we share. We love to do what we do, as well as be a mother, as well as be a wife, as well as be and fulfill those roles
Yes.
that a woman is, I guess, granted with or
Correct.
bestowed with. So tell me a little bit about that.
So, of course, I'm married and I have a 13-year-old
Oh, wow,
boy.
13.
Yes. And you would understand because you're also a working mother of twins. You would know the challenges that working mothers face. So when I was a new mom, actually for a year, I had a very, very tough time. And there would be moments in my life where I would feel, think to myself, maybe it's time for me to quit. Maybe this is the sign from the universe. But I have to say one thing, that at that very moment, there were two people very, very instrumental in my life. One was, I was an in-house counsel those days. So one was my boss, who I was reporting to directly, the owner of the company. And the second one was my husband. So my boss gave me complete flexibility in those days. I could work from home. I just had to drop him a message. I could go late, leave early, and finish the assignments, finish the work as and when I can. Provided there are no deadlines missed, I had the liberty of working from wherever I could. And second, my husband, who in the moments where I would feel maybe it's time to quit, he would come and tell me no, because you may quit now and rejoin as well, a year or 2 years later. But then you will fall back in your career and you will never reach that position where you left from. But you will see your peers going ahead of you. And trust me, one thing that he said is that I don't think your son is really going to be extra thankful to you for doing that.
Yeah, it's about, again, perception and also believing that you will be able to do it. And you have
Yes.
to live for yourself,
Yes.
that living for yourself really makes you be a better mother, be a better wife,
Yes.
be a better human.
Yes, yes. So those two people really, kept me going. And of course, because see, sometimes you do need support, right?
Absolutely.
You can't
always, we are humans.
Yes.
Irrelevant of being a woman or a man. You
Yes.
need support. You
Yes.
need the I mean, it's like a car, like they say, like of a metaphor. If the woman is the back wheels and the husband is the front wheels, or vice versa. So we have to support each other. When one flats out, the other has to still drive on and support and encourage and motivate and things like that.
Absolutely. So this is what kept me going. And I remember when my son was 2 years old, I changed my job and I was then managing around 5-6 offices for a trading company. And that was a hectic travel job. And by hectic, I mean I would be sitting in the office working and the Bombay office would call me, your tickets are booked for tonight. So I would have to keep a bag ready always with me. And I would leave that 2-year-old boy and go for my work travel. There was a time when I was traveling like every week, come back on the weekend and then fly back on Sunday. And my husband would give me a call, okay, you've landed, but he's running high temperature.
Oh my God, yeah, that's the worst.
Separation anxiety,
yeah.
Yes. But then I managed and now of course he's 13-year-old and he loves to tell and share with his friends, okay, my mom is a lawyer. And
so he's proud of you, right?
He's proud of me, yes. So that's what, in fact, that's my reward, I would say, right? Where he says, yes, I love it that, you work, mom. He's understood, he's learned the nitty-gritty. So if I'm working from home some days, he knows he has to talk to me in sign language if I'm in a meeting or I'm on a call. He knows when to disturb me and when not to disturb me. He calls me at work, but then asks me, are you busy? Can I ask you something? Can I call you? So I think it has made him more resilient, more independent, and much better person.
And he respects you as who you are.
Yes.
And also he would respect his wife or any other women in
Yes.
those ways. So
Correct.
I think that's what we teach our kids, right? When we respect ourselves, then everybody around us respects
Correct.
us as well. And they know what respect is.
Yes.
It's so deep.
Yes.
This whole journey. I know so many people who give up saying that no, I can't do it, or that maybe this is not the right thing to do. But I do believe persistence. If you really want to, you can pursue it, and the kids will understand, be proud of you, and respect you for who you are.
Yes.
So, as you know, my thesis is self-love and how we transform through self-love. So, what is the definition of self-love in your journey? Like you rightly said that you continued to work and you did it all, and today he's proud of you. So, what is your definition of self-love?
This is, I love this question first because this is exactly what I'm doing as part of my work. And of course, I realized it throughout, over the years when I was struggling with motherhood and juggling too many things together. But I realized one thing, that if we don't respect ourselves, nobody else is also not going to do that for us. So first is when we respect and love ourselves, that is what gives us more power, more motivation to pull us out of situations that are difficult. And I've seen that when I deal with women, do not understand their self-worth themselves. So they feel they're in a bad marriage, bad relationship, nasty ones, but they would say, oh no, I don't think I can carry on, This is not my cup of tea. If I get separated, I would be dead. Why? Because they don't look at themselves, the amount of talent or maybe some hidden thing that they have inside. They forget to see that picture. And I can give you an example where I successfully did it. Because, and when I started loving myself, I realized, yes, when you love yourself, then yes, you exercise for yourself. You eat well for yourself. It's not for someone else's appreciation. You
Absolutely.
work for yourself. You reach your goals for yourself, not because you want to get awarded or rewarded, or not because others appreciate you.
That's all a byproduct. You do it for yourself,
Exactly.
like you said. It's so
Exactly.
beautiful.
So this woman, when she filed for divorce, she only knew one thing, and she had no idea about it, by the way. So she's a yogi. I know you do yoga as well, and I do that as well.
Yes.
So when we were talking about it, so I told her that you have a skill that can take you really long way. You do not need any other thing. You just need your own strength, your own power, your thoughts, and just come out of it. Just walk out of it. And then only you will realize what you have within you. Unless and until you take that plunge and start recognizing your self-worth and your own respect, you would never reach, what you're looking for.
Yes.
She did that. And then she's actually a very, very old friend of mine. And then she called me one day and she said, thank you. Thank you for making me realize. And, it was really, really inspiring what you are doing. So probably that gave me a lot of strength. That was enough for me. Because now I know her completely. She's completely self-reliant, completely independent, with her children, doing really well for herself.
Yeah. I mean, to get out of a toxic relationship or toxic people, I mean, like we've heard, we are the 5% of who we hang out with. Imagine those people or those energies being part of your life that you are unable to grow in that energy.
Yes.
So that is a waste of a life.
Yes.
Like a waste of a lifetime, I would say.
And if she had not realized her own worth, if she had not started loving herself, because see, self-love for me is we don't let anyone else also disrespect us.
Agreed.
Right? So when you are in a bad job where, you are taking a lot of negativity or toxicity, you are in a bad relationship where you're taking the same, that means you're losing your self-respect in your own eyes and you're letting others disrespect you.
Correct.
So you need to first love and respect yourself, put your foot down, and then you will see the difference.
How set boundaries. Exactly.
Yes.
I agree. I agree. First, it's supposed to be in your eyes and in your mind, and then that's where everything around you changes.
Yes.
So beautiful. So let's carry on and discuss a little bit about the learnings. What do you learn from all these instances? What is that, those learnings that teach you to be better every single day? Or like I say, we grow, we evolve. So I would love to know more about those.
So actually, first learning of my life, which I probably got as a child, and it has continued, through my career, my life, how it is going, is that every woman has to be independent, financially independent. No matter you may be earning very small money, you may have, there is a skill that everyone has. You need to recognize that, hone that skill and work on it, and have your own money. When you have your own money, it's a different life, that you're leading, because then you can take your own decisions. You are your own master. I have realized that, and I have known people who have taken that step, who did not have probably this financial independence, but then they took that plunge, and now they say that yes, this was probably the best decision of my life. This teaching was given to me by my father and my mother, and we were taught, both of us, to have our own money in our hand at all times. Even though, of course, we were told that yes, you may get married in future, your husband may be really doing well, but always make sure that you have to focus on your career as well. Never get comfortable with the fact that he's doing well.
Yeah, I agree.
Never feel comfortable in that shell. Always be uncomfortable with that. And when you're uncomfortable, that's when you do things for yourself, right? So
beautiful.
So first you need to be uncomfortable to really be comfortable, right? So that's my biggest learning, I would say, which of course I learned as a child. Second was just keep going, because I still am, I'm sure, a very little impatient in life, but I have realized that you do face, difficulties and difficult times, but then just keep going, keep working. Time will just pass. If you have difficult time today, then of course a better time will also come in future.
Correct.
So this is life. This is the curve of life. You need to just keep going without thinking of anything. Just keep working towards your goal and you will reach there.
Beautiful.
So hard work always pays. That's second.
Yeah.
And third is that nothing in this world should stop you from achieving your goals. Even motherhood, for example, which I of course learned the hard way.
We all do. We all get into the trap of feeling guilty, in conflict, in contradiction in your head. Shall we not? Is this the right thing? Is this not the right thing? But like you rightly said, that nothing should stop us. We should keep on going, and especially when you keep on going, along the way you discover your life, I feel.
Yes.
Because you're going on in at least some direction.
Absolutely.
Like I feel direction, intent is so important, because if there's no direction, you will never go anywhere. So might as well set a direction, set the goal, keep going. And then if that is not the direction, even if you come to a place where that is not the direction, you pivot and you go another way. Like it has happened with me. Like, I was in the fashion business, then the family business, and then now I'm doing the podcast, I'm an author. And it's just been such a beautiful journey.
Yes.
I feel when you set an intention, then the journey is just so beautiful.
Actually, you're a perfect example, Meher, I would say, because you yourself have diversified so much in your life, with every little change in your life that you were faced, you just never stopped. You went in another direction, but you kept working. So that's what I think, should be everyone's goal. That just set your goal. Yes, you don't need to stop. And nothing can stop you from achieving what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's why I resonated so much with this. I'm like, I just kept going, and I was like, I will find my purpose, or my purpose will find me, like they say. So yeah, it's just so beautiful, this journey of. I would really request, I think, everybody listening to us to also just follow your heart and keep going in life, and don't worry about the outcome.
Yes,
because outcome is always a byproduct. We have to enjoy the journey.
Yes. Yes, you learn so much,
on
going
the journey.
Along with. Yes.
Yeah. The journey is the reward, like they say. Beautiful. So what are the goals you are setting for 2023?
Okay, 2023 is, actually a lot. So now we are kind of looking to diversify in terms of our legal practice. I'm looking to work more with women, teaching them to be financially independent, teaching them to be self-reliant. I'm looking more and more to work with more and more women. However I can do that, I would definitely, do it. I am thinking of writing a book on my experiences in the legal practice.
I think that would be so beautiful and so interesting to read.
I hope
And
somebody
learning.
would be interested in
Yeah.
reading it, but that's what when I tell people about small little experiences, I heard from a lot of people, why don't you just put it in a book? Why don't you just write about it? And that's when I thought, okay, yeah, maybe not a bad idea,
Absolutely, I agree. It's beautiful.
So if people can find my experiences interesting and if it can give them some learning, from it, then why not? So that is one of my goals, definitely. And yes, I have one personal goal, which is I need some time for myself, which I think a lot of us tend to ignore and, overlook. I have already started that. I keep mornings, at least 2 hours for myself, my personal time. But I need more time, say on the weekends, where it's just for myself, me alone, me time, whether I'm just lying in bed.
And that's so important.
That is so important, actually. So now, of course, I'm an early sleeper and early riser. So for me, I'm in bed by 9, but then from 9 to 10, I do my things, listen to music or meditate, read something. So that is my time. And I'm looking to add more of such me time to my calendar.
Amazing.
So that is one of my
Love it.
personal goals.
I love it. I love it. And what will achieving these goals give you that you truly value?
Okay, great question. First thing that I really am looking for is gratitude and satisfaction from what I'm doing. So when I said I want to work with more and more women, that actually gives me true work satisfaction. Yes, I work with corporates. Yes, I do solve corporate issues on a day in, day out basis. But when I work with people who need, my help, that gives me so much work satisfaction. And that really, makes me feel that, yes, I'm in a good profession.
It's like you're serving your purpose.
Yes.
You feel alive.
Yes, absolutely. So maybe, yeah, what you say, come alive. So
Yes.
it's like that feeling, right? I feel that, yes, I've done something. I have made a difference in some way, in small little way. Of course, whatever manner we can make differences, I think we should all strive for that. So that is something that I'm looking for. When I said I want me time, that is because I want to learn more and more to love myself. It's a journey, loving yourself is also a journey.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. It's a process. It's a journey.
Yes. So you can't say that, okay, now I completely love myself.
No, not at all.
Today, yes, I have learned how to love myself. Getting more of my me time, doing more of the things that I love, being alone with myself is a part of self-love journey that I'm, going through. So yes, these two are very, very important goals of my life. And I hope I'm able to achieve that.
All the best for you on that, and I'm sure you will be able to.
Thank you so much.
So what would success look like 10 years from now for you?
Okay. I think, a lot of people measure success with money. Money is important. I'm not saying it's not important. Yes, for comforts, for pleasures in life, you do need money. But for me, I think success is when your children are talking about you, when they are proud to give your example. I have seen children who are embarrassed by their parents. Of course, there could be many reasons, for that. But when your own children talk about you with pride, that is one part of success. 2, people you have worked with remember you with gratitude, with a smile on their face. That is success. So if you have helped someone along your career and that person remembers you, every time they take your name, a smile comes on their face, that is success for me.
Beautiful.
So these two I think are very important. Rest, of course, money, finances, big car, house, those are all, of course, everybody's goals. And that is, of course, usually measured as success. But I think we forget.
For me, yes. No,
Yes.
for me, exactly what you said. True
Yes.
success is when,
Yes.
you leave a legacy of love
Yes.
with people, like you
Yes.
rightly said.
Yes.
Your kids are proud of you.
Yes.
You have a healthy family unit,
Yes.
and, you are able to have these conversations which
Yes.
contribute to others around you.
Absolutely.
So beautiful. So in the next 10 years, you would love to have more of these in your life.
I hope so. Yes, I hope so. That's the aim. And rest, of course, I leave it, how life is. So I just take one step at a time.
Amazing, amazing. So I know we spoke about your learnings, your life experiences, But what would you like to say to fellow humans who are probably trying to be a lawyer in your field, or trying to be a successful entrepreneur, or have a successful position in business? What would you like to say any of your female friends on this? Like, what is that one thing or more that you would like to
see
tell
for
them from your journey?
anything, any profession? I think very, very important thing that people tend to overlook, and I see this a lot in these millennial kids. So many of them would come to me, I want to become a lawyer. They have watched Suits, Lincoln Lawyer, and they get like, this idea.
That's the glamour side of law.
Glamour side of law. But they what I tell them that yes, you have seen these shows and these series, but you have not watched them completely, because you only saw the flashy side of it. You did not see the work side of it, where they're in the office the whole night.
Yes.
Waking up in the office the next morning, taking a shower in the office, not time to eat, no time for their personal life. So you tend to overlook that side. And I have seen that side as a young lawyer, that when, there are difficult filings the next morning, how you work, the entire team is sitting day in, day out, the whole night you're working together, looking for points, case laws, things that can help you. So they tend to overlook that part. So what I think the biggest thing that everyone needs to understand is, to achieve anything, hard work is what you need to put.
There are no shortcuts to success.
No shortcuts.
I agree. There's no shortcuts to success.
For any profession,
yes.
Right? And you know it, I'm sure, better than anyone. Right?
I stretch myself every year on year. I just stretch myself more.
Yes.
And then of course you get better at it, but you have to stretch yourself. You have to get outside your comfort zone, and you have to actually experience the unexperienced to be who you're meant to be.
And that's when any profession would give you probably what you're looking for, provided you put yourself completely into it.
Yeah, bring your whole self to the table,
yes.
Like they say. You have to bring your whole self to the table,
yes.
the downs, the ups, whatever it is, like the hard work, you have to bring it to the table, and you have to be willing to do that.
Yes. So that's the only advice that I hope people understand this sooner than later.
I agree. Because I think the hard work in the previous times was different, but it still is hard work now also. I think people equate it to being that, no, they needed to do it for survival and to put the bread on the table, but we don't have to do it for that. But I don't think so. I think hard work is still needed to evolve yourself.
Yes.
And evolve yourself. And like you said, at least, if not monetary, but at least measure success in terms of, leaving a legacy of love.
Right.
Impacting people, serving people,
and
being able to contribute and feeling peaceful and whole and complete.
Yes, absolutely. Totally agree with you.
That's amazing. It's amazing. I'm so happy to have conversed with you. And thank you again for bringing your wisdom to this show, and looking forward to another session soon. And thank you for being you. Please remain as, I believe, humble, serving and contributing that you are, and making a difference to the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Meher. Thanks a lot. It was actually an enlightening experience for me as well. And I hope we can continue our conversation in future.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Come Alive podcast with Karteekka Tyagi. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I loved being here and conversing with her. Please share it with whoever needs to hear it. Leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to wherever you are hearing this. Thanks and lots of love.